I'm going to try to not make it more anxious. I'm going to ask you literally just one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, as you stand on the threshold of this major movie, do you look at your father's careers? And both of them had some very successful films, but they never became sort of superstars. They never entered the A-League. They didn't become the sort of thing that everybody else would emulate. So do you look at your father's careers and say, this is what I'm going to take from it, this is what I'm going to learn, and this is what I'm not going to do? Do you guys have those emotions?
Yeah, I definitely do. The thing for me is that when I was a child growing up, I was very not sidelined, but I was never a part. I never was never considered a part of the industry because no Friday affected my household, whether it was a super hit or a flop. So I never understood what it was like being an actor's daughter growing up because I didn't understand. I never went on film sets. I was an extremely filmy child because I loved watching movies. I acted in front of the mirror, so that was always a passion and a hobby. Like I did theatre in school and all of that, but I was never a part of the industry in any way. But of course, as I grew older, I became aware of my father's failure and success. And today he's always taught me never to fear a Friday. And he's always, that's been his biggest advice for me. Because he says one Friday it can go really well and the next can be not so great. So as long as you've done your work and you feel like you've met people's expectations, I think that's all that's important because Friday is just fate.
But is there anything specifically that you will take away from how he conducted? So this is how he conducted his life, and obviously that's something you want to do.
Yeah.
What's the one thing you don't want to do?
I think he was too nice.
Really?
Yeah, I always tell him
But
that.
I have to tell you, all I ever heard about Anna, everybody used to call him Anna, was he's just the nicest
Nice
man.
person,
Nicest person.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna
Not be nice.
I mean, not be mean, but I'm not gonna be so nice.
What does that mean?
In my case, it's the other way around, you know. In my case, I don't think...
He was nice enough?
See, he's an amazing person, you know, but at home. But I've heard so many stories about him, and I get to hear more things about him now. But maybe he's just not a diplomatic person. He's not a fake person, you know. And in this industry, you can only survive when you're diplomatic, and I don't think he was one of them. He's a self-made man, but that doesn't mean you do what he's done. And career-wise, I don't think there was anyone to guide him. But now I think we are in good hands, and we have such a good team.
I see the minders.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Did you see before? Oh
my God.
Check.
We have such a good team now to take care of us, and of course I want to take my father's name ahead. I want to take my mother's name ahead, and I want to try and make them so proud that they feel that they haven't left anything in their careers.
But sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I read an interview where I think he said, or you were quoting him, where you said that he actually gave you advice to not
The only
follow
advice
him.
he has ever given to me in my life is like, he said, "Beta, जो मैंने किया life में वो मत करना, please. अगर कुछ भी पूछना है films के बारे में, कुछ भी पूछना है life के बारे में, तो अपने माँ से बात करो." So I don't think any father would come and say that, because I've seen fathers telling the children, be like me, do what I've done. But he said, don't do what I've done. Yes.
So he was very honest with that.
He knows what the things he's done, and so he doesn't want me to repeat them.
So you're going to try and be less nice, and you'll try and be more nice.
No, I think not less nice, but I think my father uses his heart a lot, and he wears his heart on his sleeve. I definitely will not do that. So I think you gotta be balanced. You gotta use your brains and a little bit of heart to make choices.
It sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, I think so. Subscribe to Film Companion and hit the button below
To get your film fix.